Okay, official hello. Good afternoon, dear friends. So nice to see all of you on this Thursday, the first Thursday of October. Can you believe it's October already? I'm sure you're ready for Christmas shopping, right? I saw Christmas trees already up at Lowe's when I was there like last week. Yeah. Could we all unmute ourselves and say hello to one another?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello,
Everybody.
Everybody.
hello, everyone.
Hello to our friends from the US,
Hello.
from Europe,
Hey, y'all.
from Asia. Yes.
Wow.
So nice to see some friends, familiar faces who are joining us for the first time. And also welcome back to our friends who join us almost on a weekly basis. Um, so today we have Sister Đinh Nghiêm. What's your name again? What does it mean again? I forgot. I know it has a very special meaning.
Um, there's one translation is sister commitment, the sister true commitment. Thai was not happy with that word yet, that name yet, but he was still thinking, and he still cannot give me the exact name that he wants. And I'm happy with the name sister commitment.
Yes, and she really practices with her name, True Commitment. Remember the first time that she joined us and I asked her if she could join us each time I'm online and she said yes, see, and so she's back. So thank you, Sister True Commitment, for keeping your commitment. Um, my name is Sister Bội Nghiêm. My pronouns are she and her, and English translation of my name is Sister True Pearl. So once again, welcome everybody. Today, Sister Đinh Nghiêm and I, we will share with you on the topic of loving speech and deep listening as part of our series of 4 ways to inspire others. But before we go into the Dharma, we can start with singing, which is also Dharma. And Sister Đinh Nghiêm will help us with that. First, let me share with you the screen. It's been so long since I haven't used Zoom. Today it's acting up on me. It's, okay. Are you able to see this, dear friends? Okay.
Yes.
Đinh Nghiêm, please.
Is there any request that which song you prefer to sing?
You can type in the chat box if there's a song you would like to sing.
Call and respond.
What song you sang once that was a call and response? What song was that? I think I know what song. I think Great Big Smile, right? It was a joyful song. Okay, let's try that. And then I Like the Roses. And we can end with breathing in, breathing out. And before our session ends, we will end with no coming, no going. So our friend who requests for us to sing that song kindly remind us at the very end for us to sing no coming, no going. I don't want to sing this in the beginning because we might lose the internet connection like we had in the previous times. And then we have to leave earlier than expected, right? So just save this song for the at the very end, so we don't jinx it. Okay. great big smile. It seems like we don't have that here then. Maybe we can save that for... is it okay that we sing I Am a Cloud instead?
This one also call and response.
Call and response. Oh yeah, okay. And When I Rise. Yeah, that is the one. Thank you, Sister Dingyam. Could you help?
I don't think I can.
Oh, you
sing
don't
this
know
one.
it? Okay. So dear friends, if you could repeat after me and please mute yourself. And when I rise,
And when I rise,
let me rise
let me rise
like a bird,
like a bird,
joyfully.
joyfully.
And when I fall,
And when I fall,
let me fall
let me fall
like a leaf,
like a leaf,
gracefully,
gracefully,
without regrets.
without regrets.
And when I sit,
And when I sit,
let me sit
let me sit
like a mountain,
like a mountain,
solidly.
solidly.
And when I lay,
And when I lay,
let me lay
let me lay
like a lake,
like a lake,
calm and still,
calm and still,
reflecting all.
reflecting on.
And when I work,
And when I work,
let me work
let me work
like a bee,
like a bee,
lazily.
lazily.
And when I play,
And when I play,
let me play
let me play
like the rays
like the rays
of the sun,
of the sun,
rejoicingly.
rejoicingly.
And when I cry,
And when I cry,
let me cry
let me cry
like a baby,
like a baby,
wholeheartedly,
wholeheartedly,
wholeheartedly.
wholeheartedly.
Thank you. And now,
I like the roses. Okay, we will sing together the song number 9. I like the roses. Are you ready? We have hands movement and please. 2, 3, sing together. I like the roses.
I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down.
Doobie 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 doo. I like the roses.
I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the twinkling stars when the sun goes down.
Doobie 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 doo. And the song number 7, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in,
Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as the dew. I a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. Thank you so much, dear Sister Dingim and dear friends. So now we would like to invite you to have some moments of rest, nowhere to go, nothing to do, as we will practice 50 minutes of guided sitting meditation guided by Sister Dingim. First of all, I would like to ask, are any friends here, any friends who are here for the first time? Could you raise your hand? Okay. Welcome you all for a session today.
Good afternoon, dear friends, dear sister Trooper. I would like to invite everyone to sit beautifully, peacefully, relaxingly. You can keep your body, your back straight, but relax. You can relax your shoulders. You can maintain a half smile to relax your face. You can close your eyes in order to keep in touch with your breathing. Feel your whole body relax peacefully. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go right now. Just being together, enjoy the present moment, enjoy the peace energy of everyone. We are here together. I will start with 3 sounds of the bell. Breathing in. I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, I follow my in breath from the beginning to the end. Breathing out, I follow my out breath from the beginning to the end. Following my in breath, following my out breath. Visualizing some damage I have done in the past, I breathe in. Seeing the suffering I caused in the past, I breathe out. Damage done, suffering caused. Seeing my lack of understanding while committing the act, I breathe in. Seeing my lack of mindfulness while committing the act, I breathe out. Lack of understanding, lack of mindfulness. Seeing the past present in me now, I breathe in. Seeing the wounds of the past present in me now, I breathe out. Past, present in me now. Wounds in me now. Saying I'm sorry, I breathe in. Determined not to do it again, I breathe out. Saying sorry, determined not to repeat. Transforming the past by positive present action. I breathe in. See in my present action, influencing the future. I breathe out. Present action, transforming the past, influencing future. Breathing in, I become aware of my in breath. Breathing out, I become aware of my out breath. Aware of in breath, aware of out breath. Thank you for practicing with us. I would like to invite everyone to open your eyes. Offer a smile to everyone. And you can massage your face. Your head. And your neck. And your shoulders. How do you feel right now? Is this peaceful? Happy to hear that. Now I would like to invite Sister Bội Nghiêm to start to share with us about the topic this afternoon. Lovely speech.
Thank you, Sister Tin Nghiem, for a very peaceful and meaningful guided meditation. I think it's a meditation that we all could relate to, right? Who here doesn't make mistake? Raise your two hands up. Nobody. That's two thumbs, not two, not two thumbs, two hands. We all make mistakes. So something that we cannot deny, but we also have the deep aspiration to be better, to live a positive present so that we can help to transform the past. For those of you who are new here, and for those of you who forgot, which is okay, we are continuing on the series of the 4 ways to inspire others. The first one is giving, and there are 3 types of giving, 3 kinds of giving. Material giving, the giving of the Dharma or the teachings, and the giving of non-fear. Yes, oftentimes we don't think non-fear is a gift. And if you wish to listen to that first one of the 4 ways, you can go on our YouTube page, youtube.com, Magnolia Grove MPC. There you can listen. And this is a second part of the loving speech. Last time we did it with Goloan. I don't know if you remember. And it was really nice that we had that wonderful session. And I wanted to invite her back, but because of her schedule, she couldn't. So today we have Sister Dingyep. And who knows how many of these parts we have on loving speech and deep listening, right? It's so nice to have that freedom where we come up with something we want to share and we can drag it on as long as we want. We can have 10 sessions on loving speech and deep listening, and we will never finish the 4 ways to inspire others. um, but you know what is nice about our practice is that I think the longer that you practice, the more richness you are able to see in each teaching given by the Buddha or a teacher. In the beginning, you might say, "Oh, I don't have anything to share about loving speech and deep listening." But I think that the more that we practice, we discover more about ourselves, our own mind, our own speech, and also see from others. Then we start to gain more experiences and have more stories to tell. Actually, when we share about the practice, we share about our insights, and these insights come from our stories, right? So it's a storytelling time. If we look at it that way, then it's not too stressful. I remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I received a text message from my oldest niece, who is now 21 years old. And she sent to me this text, "Auntie, can we talk?" I don't know if you have nieces or nephews, but how does it feel when you receive that message from them? It's very warm feeling, right? I mean, they have better things to do than talking to their auntie, but I don't know. On that night, she decided to talk to me. And I was very moved by that gesture, by that short sentence. "Can I talk to you?" And you know, it was, I think, 2 hours before our conversation, so you could imagine what was in my mind. It's like, oh my gosh, is she, having some difficulties with her boyfriend? Did she do something wrong? Is she in trouble? All of these assumptions and perceptions of what is wrong with her right now, right? And so it was really nice that we were having just a casual check-in, and she started to share with me what is going on between her and her mom, which is like a lifelong problem. I'm not surprised. But it was nice that she opened her heart to me and initiate that she wanted to talk to me. And I feel that is the power of loving speech and deep listening. So if you have like young nieces and nephews, for those of you who are very up to date with inclusive language, can you share with me what is the inclusive word for nieces and nephews? So I say it right. If you can type it in. Okay. You can share that with me later, and then I'll say it out. But it's so nice that whenever we are with young people, educators, healthcare professionals, or family members, if we make a habit to call them and speak to them when they were still young, and as they get older, they will remember the conversations and the time you spent with them. And one day, when they encounter difficulty, they will think of you and send you a text and say, "Can we talk?" And it's a question that doesn't happen only when there's problems, but when there's a place to want to share the joy. Like a few months ago, she opened to me and she shared with me, "Guess what? I have a boyfriend." You know how nice that is? I would be, If I were her age, I would be like scared to death letting my family know that I have a boyfriend. But perhaps she knows that I'm a nun. I can't do anything. But that I live far from her, so I would just have the open heart, and the listening ears to listen to her. Thank you. Nibbling is a gender neutral term. Nibbling for nieces and nephews. Yeah, so I hope that you have this great relationship with your nibbling, with your sibling, with your nibbling. Because as we know that with the mental health crisis going on in the United States for the teenagers as well as for young people, young adults, family members are their refuge place. And yet, it's a place where they struggle the most. We have been through that age, so we know how difficult it is. Add to that, these days, young people have a lot of pressure. And, sometimes we underestimate what it's like at school for them. It is a very stressful environment. Some of you are nodding your head. Perhaps you are educators yourself. So please, we know what it feels like to receive a text. Can we talk? Yeah. And we know what our mind is like when we receive that message. So maybe after this session, you can send a text to somebody and say, can we talk? and after the conversation, you can ask them, I just want to know, what were you thinking when I sent you that text? It's nice to do that. When we talk about loving speech, we also need to talk about deep listening. And these days, we can have many things that distract us. I'm sure right now you're thinking of one. And I'm sure 98% of you are thinking about the same thing. And that is your phone, right? When we were at Dreamforce event in San Francisco last month, I asked, how many of you find your phone distracting? 98% of the people in that room raised their hand. Yet we are proudly saying that I am the owner of my phone. And oftentimes, it is one of the main things that distract us. So we can practice this whenever we are with somebody, that we put our phone somewhere that is invisible, or turn off the notification sound, silent it. Before we go and we meet somebody, we remind ourselves that this is the most important person in my life. Let us listen to the bell in the dining hall. We know who we will see most of the time in our daily life. And if we raise that awareness that the person that I'm standing next to, sitting next to, walking next to, is the most important person in my life. And with that awareness, then that habit energy of distracting ourselves from our phone, we can help to decrease it. And then the second thing is sometimes we, not only the phone distracts us, but our thinking distracts us more than our phone, don't you think? This is why coming back to the present moment, be there, be here, when we're with somebody or when we are with ourselves, ask ourselves, is my thinking distracting me right now? Our level of mindfulness is greater than we think. If you think that I've been practicing meditation and mindfulness for a few months or a few years, I don't see any improvement. Well, that is kind of an ironic statement when we know that everything is impermanent. I don't think it's a practice of humility. We do see improvements, we do have improvements, and sometimes we don't see it. But if we take moments during the day when we sit and we listen to somebody, we remind ourselves to please be here right now. Just open our ears, make eye contact, keep our hands as still as possible. If our hands are busy playing with something, holding something, twisting it, or sometimes because some people, they need that as a place, as a refuge. Yes, we can do that, but slowly we pay attention to the movement. And at the same time, we pay attention to what we are hearing. And that can also help us to increase the level of mindfulness and to be fully present. Our eyes can tell others a lot because eyes are the doors of the soul, right? If right now I am not present, you can tell by just looking at my eyes. I cannot lie to you. Eyes cannot lie. And I can also tell if you are not right here, right now. I remember when I was at home with my mom. She was having colon cancer. And there were times when we had meals together, her eyes would be somewhere, and I could tell. And I asked her, Mom, what are you thinking? And right away, her eyes were back in the present moment. So if you are with somebody or when you are with yourself and distracted by your own thoughts, you ask yourself, what are you thinking? And then right away, you come back to the present moment. There's no need to criticize. And so when you listen to somebody speak, you can tell yourself, what are you thinking? Please listen. And then the power of deep listening is that it allows other people to really open their hearts and share with you what is deep down inside. If when you speak to somebody and they are distracted, you don't feel inspired. You don't want to open your heart. You don't feel like you are being seen, you are being heard. And children, they are very sensitive. So as adults, we can be role models for the children. And we can share the skills to the children. But oftentimes we only want them to practice like listen deeply when they're in trouble. Okay, look at my eyes. Listen to me. This is what happened. But we don't need to do that only when they just did something wrong. And we can pay attention to the movement of their eyes. If their eyes are moving back and forth, it means that they're hiding something. This is just my observation with the children and with my own self. And also, we ask ourselves, do we have the tendency to finish other people's sentences? Let's say they are talking and they're finding words. Please just allow them that space for them to find that words, unless they ask for your help. It is to train us to be patient and to practice deep listening. For some of us, we can be very sharp. We are very quick to respond and also quick to react. So when somebody says something that perhaps takes longer than we want, we have the tendency to finish that sentence for them. Sometimes they appreciate, sometimes they don't appreciate. Sometimes they ask you to stop, sometimes they don't ask you to stop. But if we are able to catch ourselves, then we will see that, yes, this is a habit of mine. Observe when we are sitting with a group of friends or colleagues. Pay attention to who speaks the most in the room. Is it you? Is it somebody else? And just observe it. I practice this, and I see that oftentimes in the past, it will be me who speaks the most in the group, if I happen to be the eldest in the group. I don't know how others felt, but after some time, I find it not very I wouldn't say beneficial, but it's nice to create a space where everybody's voices can be heard, can be listened to. So deep listening requires observation. Not just only observing what is in here, but also is to observe what is happening outside. So if you're in a meeting, observe who shares the most, observe who doesn't share, and then find skillful ways to involve those who hasn't shared much to please share. But of course, we also allow that person the space and the time that they need. We want to encourage, but we don't want to create a pressure or a force. Again, integration is not enough. Inclusivity, inclusion is another step that we need to do. Just like equality is not enough. We need to make a step further, and that is equity. And it's the same with deep listening too. So there are many things that can distract us when we practice deep listening, but focus on what are some things that we can do. And one thing that we can always do is come back to our breathing and ask ourselves questions. What are you thinking? Who is in front of you? Who is the most important person right now in your life? I don't know if you know Mr. Rogers. I don't know if you've seen that movie played by Tom Hanks. But one time he was talking to somebody over the phone, and this person asked him, who is the most important person in your life? And Mr. Rogers answered with his calm voice. He say, you. So these are the questions that you can also ask the children. Whenever we are with our beloved teacher, we feel his presence profoundly. That is because he is really there for us. You know how there are people when you are next to you don't mind to open your heart to share what is deep down inside? It's because of the energy that they give out and the compassion that they have for you at that moment that you can feel. And you don't mind to show that vulnerability or that deep wound in your heart that perhaps is difficult to share with others. And I hope that each one of you have at least one or two people like that in your life. That you don't mind to share what is really deep down in your heart. And there are questions or feelings that we wish to express, but we need to find the right time and the right space to do it. And this is the art of loving speech. Whenever we feel that our heart is beating fast, there is irritation inside, it is best not to speak. And let me tell you, dear friends, this is very difficult to do. I don't know how it is for Sister Dingyam, but for me it's very difficult. Yeah. Because that urge of wanting to say it, gosh, just want to say it. And then we regret it afterward. But we know we regret it, but we want to say it because it feels so good right at that moment, right? And then for many days, we have to work to take care of that emotions, of that hurt that we have caused ourselves and the other person. 2 days ago, we listened to a Dharma talk given by Sister Yeo, Sister Gina, and she was sharing with us about the practice of noble silence. And I really like this story of hers. She said that whenever she practiced noble silence, she's able to observe her speech more. And there are words that are right at the tip of her tongue. And if at that moment there's mindfulness, she will not say it out. She will taste it to see what flavor it is. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. She will taste it to see what flavor it is. Sometimes it's bitter, sometimes it's sweet. So please taste the tip of your tongue more often before we say something to feel the flavor of it. Yeah. If you feel it's best to swallow it, okay, swallow it. So we don't cause any more damage, right? Because in everybody's life, there's already enough dramas already. And we know that words are very powerful. They can destroy lives very easily. We cannot blame the other people for being too sensitive. We have to look back at ourselves. Why we say such words when we know it can cause damage and hurt to the other person. Teenagers, young adults, children. They experience this already. The power of words, whether that is spoken words, whether comments left on their social media pages, text messages they receive, they can lift a person up, or they can destroy a person's life. We've seen this on the news. We even see this in our own family. And we know the impact of words. So let us continue to say words that inspire joy, confidence, and hope, like the fourth mindfulness training that is encouraging us to practice. In Vietnamese, we have this saying, uốn lưỡi 7 lần trước khi nói. Right, Sister Dingham?
Yes.
Yeah. Twist your tongue, rotate your tongue 7 times before you say something. But oftentimes, I think it's only 1 time and then we say something already. That's why we are often in trouble. We hurt one another or we inspire one another with the words that we use more than we think. I think more than anything. Because everywhere we go, we see words, right? It is the main way of communication. You can sit next to somebody and talk, and there will be silence. There are love couples that can sit in silence for hours and not talk, and yet they still have a great love for one another. But it's different when you are married. It's a different reality when you two live together. So speaking, whether that is verbally or writing letters, sending text messages, is a main form of communication. And in that we can add different ingredients to make that love, that respect we have for one another last longer. And that is respect. That is asking for consent. That is asking for understanding and support. Loving speech doesn't mean it's always like soft or making others happy because so that you can agree. That's not loving speech. There were young people. This is a true story. There were some young people that at the young age they were sexually abused. And the abuser, after sexual abuse, would say, "Thank you and I love you." And when this person became a teenager, whenever she was lonely, she would look in her phone book, call people wanting to have sex. And after that, the person would say, "Thank you and I love you." So this person would think that in order to hear "thank you and I love you," she must do this kind of acts. And it wasn't only until like later when this person became like a young adult that she realized that there's no need to do that in order to receive the word thank you and I love you. So there are things that we discover on our own. There are things that we are taught. And other times, the things that we discover on our own is when we experience that hurt or that pain. And for some, it might be too late. So for whatever yet you can do to share with the young people, to please do so, or for your own self. And in loving speech, there is no jealousy. When we compliment somebody, it is really because we celebrate that person's success. There's genuine in it. Watering the flower, helps that person to boost their confidence and self-esteem by showing our appreciation for their presence or for what they have done. And check in with ourselves if there's jealousy in it, or do we really are happy for that person, that we see that person's success and happiness is our own happiness and success. I'm sure perhaps some of you have experienced moments where somebody came to you and show appreciation, but there's a bit of awkwardness in it, right? Have you experienced this before? I myself have experienced it, and it's very awkward. That person is trying too hard, but it's not coming from the heart. So when we show appreciation, please do it from sincerity. And really be happy for the other person's happiness and success. There's one question that I like to ask Sister Dingam. Can you share with us the time you practiced loving speech in difficult situation or with someone you had problems with? This is when the practice comes in. I mean, if you practice loving speech with someone you have a very wonderful relationship with, that's pretty easy. But if you could share with us a moment or a situation or with somebody, and that moment you had difficulties with, but you were able to practice loving speech. Thank you, dear friends and dear Sister Dingam, for listening.
Such a powerful talk, and I learned a lot from your sharing. Thank you so much, dear sister. I love to join the session because I myself learned a lot and received a lot of benefit from myself. When I agree to join the sessions, it doesn't mean that I will be here to share or to teach, but to learn and to be present with our friends, with all of you. It's nice to see the faces, that some that I know, and some I met the previous session. to the question that Sister Boyim just asked. Honestly, that it's not easy for me to use lavish speech with someone that I have difficulty with, problem with. But day by day, I train myself to do better. It seems like easier for me to behave a nicer sister as a younger sister with my older sisters, because we live together, we share the rooms, the house, the place together, and I do see them as my a kind of blood sisters. We take care of each other. And for me, whenever I have a tiny problem, I can release it right away. Then it's very easy for me to reconcile with the tiny knots. Then I believe that I don't have difficulties with my sisters. But in the Sangha, we do have brothers.
Any brothers here? They're down there.
Maybe because in my family I just have sisters. Then I used to live with sisters, and we love each other. Then easier for me to handle, to change my the way of thinking, the way of speaking toward my sisters. Then I'm also easy to share what I'm not happy when the sister sometimes they don't know that they make me unhappy, but I'm easy to share, then easy to unknot the difficulties. And whenever I have any feeling that I might make my sisters unhappy, then I'm easy to share, to begin anew with my sisters directly. And the situation always very, very easy, very calm, and the problem is tiny. Like with the brothers, not easy for me. I remember one time I was a younger sister in the Sangha, and I was a liaison between two hamlets, and there was a liaison brother, and it seems that I have a burden shoulder whenever I had to talk to him, because he always have a kind of strong reaction, a kind of anger, energy toward me. And I always feel afraid of him, afraid of talking to him. But because it's my job, and I always have to be strong to come to him to say, can I talk to him? Can I talk to you about this, about that? And always nervous, always get fear. And one day it became too much for me. Then I remember I just he just say no, because I asked him just have separate Dharma sharing for the lay friends and for monastic, but he said no. We have one session everyone together. And at that time, we didn't have anyone that can speak English in fluency and can translate everything to the non-English speaking. That it was too much for me because I had to find that one person because I want to fulfill our friends who should come for the day of mindfulness. I don't want that they should come and be there and no one understand them, Then it's not nice to them, to our friends. Then that's why I feel I feel unhappy. I feel too much for me. I feel disappointed, including myself, that I could not do it, and I want that everyone who comes to the monastery be happy. Then when he said no, I just join my palms and bow to him and turn away. Then later, I stopped talking to him about 2 weeks. And whenever we do walking meditation, I saw his feet. Then I just walk faster to pass him or walk slower to be far from him. And I didn't want to talk, to do anything with him. I closed my heart, closed my face, a serious face toward him. And another sister had to be the liaison for me at that moment, at that difficult time. Then I thought, okay, just do that. I don't need to do anything with him, no need to reconcile, because he's not my blood brother, And I don't need to do anything with him. And then one day, while doing walking meditation, I see my tendency that want to be far from him. Then the image of Thai came up to my mind. Thai is our teacher. He's my teacher, my dear teacher, and Thai is also is the dear teacher of my brother, the one that I have difficulty with. And I recognize that I love Thai a lot, and he also loves Thai a lot, and I love all of us equally. And at that moment, I have an insight. I see that both of us are the cells of Thai's body. I cannot cut that cell out of Thai's body. Thai will be hurt. And Thai will be happy if he knows that his students love each other, work together, live together, support each other in harmony. Of course, we have difficulty, but we have the way of practice to reconcile. If we don't practice, if we cannot reconcile to each other, it means that we're not the good students of Thai. Then I just be wherever I was at that line of the walking meditation, close to him and continue to walk. At the beginning, it's not easy, but then later, it's better. And then I feel calm, peace. And I also feel that he also has the same energy like me. When I have difficulty in myself, he also have that. He also carry that energy in himself. And then after the walking, we stop, and then I bow to him and ask if we can talk. And he said yes. And then there's my mentor there to be our second body. And then I try my best to share the things that I see that is good in him, then I'm appreciate. And then I also share my difficulties, the weakness in myself that I need him to support. And he also shared that he also benefits by my practice. He also see that I try my best to protect to help the friends. It doesn't mean that I have a feeling that he told me that I'm not uh, taking care of friends, but he know that I'm really want to take care of friends. But because at that time too much for him also, he had too many things inside himself. He also carry a lot of things inside, also pain in the body. At that time, then too much, then he could not control himself to say no to me. Because he knows that if he say yes, he had to be the facilitator. Yeah, and it's luckily that maybe because I was the younger one, he was ordained before me, then I was the younger one. Then when at the difficult moment, I didn't speak. I didn't speak any words that hurt ourselves. I just bowed to him and turned away right away and walked right away. But it's also hurt already. Yeah, but I think, yeah, luckily that thanks for the practice, I can keep the words inside myself. But it's very good experience for me. I try my best to find a way out of the situation, to find another person that relates to us, to help us. In my situation, is our Thai, our teacher. And later, I see that it's good to speak out, to share what inside of ourselves, inside of myself, whenever I am unhappy with the way of behave of the brothers, not to keep inside. It's not good. If I speak out few times before that day, that might be the situation much lighter, because I keep it in myself, and then too much for me. Then day by day, time by time, it's just a last drop of the full cup of water to fall down. And right now, I see that whenever I have a tiny difficulty with the brothers, I try my best to share that in a skillful way that don't hurt them, but also benefit myself, that I need for their practice. And also I try my best to practice myself to have to build the harmony in the Sangha. Then we can still love each other, support each other, and be friends of each other. Together we build the Sangha, to build the peace energy, collective energy that can benefit for our friends who come to the monastery. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Sister Dingyam, for sharing with us your story with the brothers. Now that you at Magnolia, we have the brothers too, so we hope that there will be a good communication, and that with your solid practice you can reconciliate and open your heart to share. I think that what she shares is very important, is not to keep the difficulties inside, but to open our heart and share that skillfully before the cup is full, right? Once the cup is full, we can cause each other a lot of pain and suffering. So for friends who are joining us on YouTube, thank you so much. We will stop the live stream here, and